Girl Who Brought Down the World by Vivian G.
Chapter 7 Faults. Shanna addresses the family about her relationship with Christopher. A long time ago, I used to live near him. I worked in one of the supermarkets and would constantly see him pace back and forth in between all the aisles. He was annoying my manager who thought he was driving away customers, so he told me to stop him. I will never forget that day. Shanna pauses before continuing. Me and my co-workers were making fun of him as usual when he actually decided to approach me. They all went back to their duties while I was forced to deal with him. I told him that he should leave unless he has something he wants to buy. He said he wanted to buy my heart. I thought that was kind of hilarious, so I decided to play along with him. Of course, he wanted to push ahead towards an actual relationship, so I claimed that I was a lesbian. He said that lesbians are a disgrace towards mankind and he wanted to convert me. I said I was firmly rooted in my lesbianism, and so he left, never to return. Later on, I found him outside of Wainsworth Enterprises. I asked him if he wanted to be my friend. He initially relented because he said that lesbians have no souls, but then he decided to become my friend anyway. He told me about how he hasn't been able to find a girlfriend, so I recommended he try to showcase his interests toward the world. For him, that meant setting up games of rocket flingers outside of the company building. I told him that was a stupid idea, but he continued to do this for quite a long time until one day, while I was walking back from work, he wasn't there. I called and he said he finally found his girlfriend and soon-to-be future wife. I congratulated him, but was skeptical of this claim. I never had time to investigate it, as I had found a new job here and moved. I never thought much of him until he was elected to be our president. Well, that girlfriend he claimed to find was actually Melanie, replied Vivian. The same one he's actively looking for? Yup. That's awful. After all this time, he's still obsessed over her. Well, she's married now to his half-brother and is due to have a child in an hour from now. It's nearing the time. Shanna, can you go to the hospital and find Melanie and bring her safely here? Asked Miles. We would have done that ourselves if we hadn't been recognized. Sure. Please help yourselves to anything in the house. Thanks. Melanie and Jones are in the hospital room, fearing every second that they may be recognized. It's only been an hour and I'm scared, Melanie replied. Don't worry. Christopher doesn't have any recent pictures of us, and our fake names should be enough to get us by. I hope so. 2 hours later, they are watching the television showing the family being chased after by a helicopter and police. We have to do something. Christopher knows we're here. We still have about 4.5 hours, replied Melanie. Stay here. Please do your best without me. I love you, Jones. I love you too, Mel. Jones runs outside to the location to the bridge where the helicopter landed. He finds a crowd dispersing after the family was nowhere to be found. Jones takes a look under the bridge to find nothing of any interest. He looks down to find a man with a machine gun unconscious. He decides to take the gun with him and look outside when the man without a machine gun wakes up and approaches him. That's my gun! He shouts. Look, I'm just gonna borrow this, Jones replies. Give me back my gun or I'll kill you! Jones attempts to fire the gun but realizes it has no ammunition. The man without a machine gun grabs the gun from Jones and punches him in the face. Wait, I know you, said the man. You're Jones Brimley, the famed author. Someone like you actually reads my books? What do you mean by that? I'm president of the book club. Really? And Christopher wants you at his office. The man knocks Jones unconscious with his gun and turns him over to the police. The police alert the Secret Service, and they whisk him away on a private jet for a nice family reunion. Shanna approaches the hospital and looks around for anyone matching the description the family had told her. She darts from room to room and finds Melanie holding Matt. Are you Melanie? Shanna whispers. How do you know who I am? I'm here to help. Kid said she recommended the name Matt for him. Shanna points toward the child. What happened to them? They're safe with me. Come on, let's go. Wait, Jones hasn't returned yet. How long has it been since Jones left? 5 hours. What to do? Do we wait or do we leave now? Pondered Shanna. Give him a few more minutes. I'm sure he'll come back. On an airplane, Jones awakens to find himself strapped into a chair. He's awake, sir, says the pilot to Christopher through video.
Good. Hi, Jones. How have you been?
Asks Christopher. Jones stares at the camera.
My parents didn't make you a mute. Well, Jones, you take away my future wife. I didn't know you were part of those jerks.
Look, you brought this upon yourself. If you hadn't acted so insane, we probably would have never met. Everything that happens to you is brought upon yourself.
Impossible!
He shouts.
I know you jerks are all out there, watching me, waiting to make my life miserable.
Christopher cuts off the connection and Jones attempts to get some sleep while the plane continues on its path to Washington, D.C. Shanna returns to her house with Melanie and Matt and finds the family watching the television.
Rapachoso is making an announcement to the Senate,
says Kid.
As you may know, I am Rapachoso, the leader of the Senate,
Christopher says while holding up a picture of Rapachoso via video.
As of this day forward, you are all fired. Congress is no longer in session ever again. I've written a new law stating that only our president, Christopher Winfield Vega, can make the decisions for the people of the great United States of America.
You can't do this!
Shouts one senator.
Yes, I can. 10 years ago, when the president declared war on China, Congress passed a law that gives the president supreme authority during times of crisis. I also now declare it a time of crisis and say you're all fired.
The video feed cuts out from the Senate floor to Christopher himself.
Hello, I'm Christopher Winfield Vega. As you may or may not know, I now have supreme authority over America. My first action will be to have every city show their love for Rapachoso. If I do not see a video of that within the next 2 weeks, I will launch a nuclear missile at your city. Have a nice day.
Do you really think Christopher can launch a nuclear missile? Asks Melanie. Do you want to find out? Miles replies. Shanna looks outside to find police surrounding her house.
What? What do you think they could want?
The phone rings and Shanna answers. Hello?
Hello, this is Christopher Winfield Vega. As you may or may not know, you are currently holding Mimi inside your house. You will now be arrested.
Shanna slams the phone down and stares at Mimi.
I didn't know he could listen into my phone calls. I just had to make a call to my sister telling her we were okay,
cried Mimi. A knock is heard at the door.
I don't want to die,
yells Kid.
I wish I didn't have to come to this,
yells Jim from the other side.
It's either the entire town or just you. I'm sorry, Shanna. Jim,
Shanna shouts.
Let us go on the run, please.
Jim stares at the piece of paper that was faxed a few minutes ago.
All right, Shanna, please, run away, hurry,
Jim shouts as he reaches for his phone.
Christopher, the terrorists ran off. I have no idea where they went.
Shanna tells the family to pack up as much food, weapons, and various other supplies they can. The family begins to do so while Melanie and Shanna talk to Jim. Do you have any idea where Jones is? Asks Melanie. Yes, he's currently being sent to Washington, D.C., says Jim. What? How do you know? One of my officers sent him to the Secret Service, and I just found out about it before I was told to arrest you guys. Jim sees the tears in Melanie's eyes. I'm sorry. That is all I know. Look, Christopher is going to use deadly force on innocent people if you guys are not captured. What are you guys trying to accomplish? Shanna answers for Melanie. These guys are attempting to assassinate Christopher. You're lucky you were wanted alive then. Christopher just announced that anyone that is even thinking about trying to harm him or his future wife will have their city nuked, says Jim. Christopher looks at a video sent from a man threatening to assassinate him from right outside the White House. Sweat pours down Christopher's head as the tape suddenly stops. He decides the only option is to barricade himself permanently from the rest of the world. He has the janitor lock down the entire basement as he launches a nuke right on top of the White House. Jones overhears the report that Christopher has blown the White House up. "Don't worry, Jones," says the pilot. "Your half-brother's still alive." "Yeah, and how are we going to get to where he is now that the radiation will kill us?" asks Jones. "You'll never find out," says the co-pilot as he knocks Jones unconscious. Shanna, Melanie, Matt, and the family set out in Shanna's car, full of food and weapons, and are ready to move out to kill Christopher. Jim waves farewell as the car slowly moves out of sight. "I was thinking about the call. How much power does Christopher have?" asked Mimi. "I never paid attention in government. Not my fault. It's boring," says Vivian. "Basic laws seem to not apply to Christopher," mentions Miles. "If he truly has unlimited power, Christopher's insane imagination may drive this country into the ground," mentions Shayna. "I mean, can we get this guy out of power?" asked Vivian. "I mean, we're trying to kill the guy. There must be more people like us." Shanna turns on the radio to hear an announcement from the Secretary of State, Fighting Rabbitoso.
Hello, grasshoppers. I am Fighting Rabbitoso. My children, many countries have said a terrible thing about Christopher Winfield Vega. Do not listen to them. They only hate America. They do not understand the concept of like freedom and liberty. In a country run by Christopher, we must fear terrorists who will attack us. We have captured Jones, one of the biggest terrorists in the world. We are still looking for the following: Sarah, Miles, Mimi, Vivian, and a kid. Despite the age of the young one, kid, she is a non-terrorist. They have captured one of the highest-ranking patriots in the country, Melanie. Christopher Son will give an award to those who bring them directly to Washington, D.C. Thank you, children, for listening.
"I'm not a terrorist," said Kid sadly. Shanna changes the station only to hear static. She changes it again, only to hear static. The only two stations that are available are C-SPAN Radio and a new station called CV Station. She decides to change it to CV Station.
Hey, this is the Secretary of Music, Black Rabbitoso. We're gonna play some kickin' video game tunes, but first, a quick recap of the news. A suspected terrorist threatening to assassinate Christopher was killed today after setting off an atomic bomb on top of the White House. Christopher is currently safe in an undisclosed location. There are no survivors, and now, the theme from Skies of Zanarkhandia.
"Jones?" Melanie whispers.